Let's turn that down. There we go. Hello. Happy Monday. Oh my goodness, let me turn this. There we go. Hello. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. Wow, it sounds weird. Why does that sound weird? Hello, hello. No, it seems fine. Oh, I think I keep forgetting I'm hearing the sound of the air conditioner. I don't think you guys will hear it. So anyway, hello. Check it out. There's a new emote. You can see it on the stream, but I'll put it here too. I was a minute late doing that. We have a comment emote. She's a little sticker. She's not animated. I'll try to figure out how to do that sometime, but yeah, my cute little guy. Anyway, uh, hello. Welcome in. Oh, there it is. Donut. Hi. Hope you're doing well today. I have been off streaming for, it feels like an eternity. I think the last day I was here was 2 Thursdays ago. It's crazy. I was working on call all last week, and it was just exhausting. And I just had no time and no desire to want to do anything fun because I was just going to be ripped away. So I did not paint anything, and I am in need of a good painting sesh. So we're going to play around today. Let me put up on stream what I was thinking of doing. Let me make sure to layer it under the stream element stuff so that chat and everything will still show up on top of it. There we go. I have a thought of doing, I wanted to do like a combination of like a nighttime scene. It's never going to look as good as this. This is just reference. But I had the idea of doing a scene that has the moon in like a crescent form where you can still see the dark side of the moon without anything in front of it, some starry sky around it, and then like an encroaching thunderstorm with like a lightning strike happening. So that was like my vision for what I wanted to do. So I thought, hey, let's, as terrible as AI is, and I would never post this or use it anywhere for anything, this is AI generated, just to get my idea down so that I can have like a faux reference to go off of, so I can kind of know how to compose things, right? And then what I actually do here is going to be obviously all real. But it is good to use as a thinking partner, at least for me. Other people may not agree with it. Some people have 100% or 0% idea on AI. I'm happy to use it as a thinking tool, but I'm not always going to use it for my everything. For me, some people may not. It's cool. We're all chill here. Let me see what I will start with. I think I'll have a larger brush going and a size 6, my trusty size 6 brush. Have those ready to go. I also found, let's have some coffee. If you got anything to drink, have a sip. I was thinking just because they have thunderstorms in my mind that I was going to play the music for it, but all it does is make me want to pee. So I'm going to find some of the music to play. Give me 1 second. That. Yeah, it works. I probably have to turn it down. All right. That works. I'll just try not to sing along with it too much. All right. Okay. So one other side thing too, I usually use my cutting mat to paint bigger things on. This is A3 paper, so it's kind of huge. It doesn't fit on my clipboard. But I realized after the last thing that I did, those 2 Thursdays ago, I did this. And I realized that with it being taped down to my cutting mat, after I took it off of it today, actually, and looked at it, my cutting mat is warped. And I realized that it might be cut resistant because it's a cutting mat, but it's not heat resistant. So the same kind of warp you see here kind of ended up being on my cutting mat. So I'll have to figure out how to straighten that out in the future. Until then, I realized that I have this. I've got this old, uh, sorry, I've got this old canvas that I've actually stolen a piece of the end of. It's kind of cut down here on the bottom, but it makes it be just the right size for horizontal or vertical use right here. And it's nice and flat, so I can use it. I should be able to tape down on this and then not peel up from it. So I think I could get a good sheet of paper out, get it taped down to this, and I don't think it will bend. And I'm hoping if I get water on it, it's not going to be a problem. I imagine it's got to be heat resistant because it's a painting canvas. It's meant to be painted on, and people use dryers on those all the time. So I think I'm going to be okay. I just need to peel off some paper, get it taped down, and I should be good. So today's going to be the first experiment using this canvas as a flat medium to hold everything down on. So we'll see. All right, put that up. Return. Go. Ugh. I also and I mean just, it's almost slightly dry on the surface, but not much. I just put some new Lunar Black on this small side palette, or small side dish. So it was completely out. So I refilled it. You can't see it because of this picture in the way, but my full palette is over here to the right. So we're going to be using a good majority of this today, but I'm going to leave the image up so you can see what it looks like. All right. Let's go ahead and grab some tape. I was thinking, do I want to replicate this idea into 3 thinner vertical images on one, or just do one big one? That's still up for debate on that. If I did 3, I'm not going to necessarily do 3 just like this over here, because that feels like a total ripoff. I just wanted to use this as an idea to figure out what to do for at least one. But maybe I can tweak it and do different stuff. We'll see. Let me lift my glasses up so I can see where I'm putting this tape down at, or I will just get it wrong. All right. It's funny, when I very first got some watercolors, I didn't know anything about it. And we got a set from IKEA. Of all places, IKEA had some watercolors, like the chalky circular, the kid kind, but I mean, anyone can use them, but the ones designed for kids. And when we were out at a thrift store, we got this canvas. That's when we got it. You know what? I wonder. I think, let me see if I can be smart about this. I have an idea. This. Yeah, that's too thin. How's it gonna work? Oh yeah, it smells. Hmm. I'm trying to think. Let me. I'm going to try something really quick. I realized that in trying to tape this down, I can't tell the difference between the tape or through the tape where the edge of this paper is compared to this white background. I can't see anything. So I am going to do a quick side experiment. And I think I'm going to make like a grid pattern on this really quick. Nothing pretty, but just something to put something down. I think that's my only option. That or, yeah, I shouldn't do paint because if I ever accidentally get water over it, it might want to seep back onto it. You know what I mean? Sure, the painting could use an undersea green. Everything could use undersea green. I love that. Probably only granulating, separating color. That's like my interest so far. Granulating color is amazing. Yeah, no, I've got it right here. undersea green is right here. It's super cool looking. We can play with it because green feels really good in atmosphere as well, especially when it's super windy and tornado-y. It wants to suck some of that up in the air. I'm trying to decide how I want to do that. Do I want to? Because I don't have time to sit here and do a gigantic, equal, perfect grid pattern. I don't even have a ruler long enough to do that. I'm just trying to consider, like, what would it look like if I did something? I think I'm just going to suffer and try to align it the best I can today and worry about cleaning that up later. I do want to do that, though. Oh, wait. No, hang on. Alternative thought. Oh, yeah, that's an alternative. I can just use the back of this. It's not pretty, but I think that works. It's got designs on it. I should be able to tell where the edge of the tape is on this. And it's smoother too and kind of glossy. So I bet it repels water better than the other side does. So I think we'll do that. Yeah, this should be fine. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, let me grab that tape. Come with me. Nope. Part of my problem is the tape. A part of it is I can't see this through it. So I'm just going to do the best I can. Nope. That's a little bit off. There we go. Okay, that's all right at least. All right. I gotta learn my lesson from every single time I've used tape in the past. I have got to press it down firmly. Because whenever I don't, paint always seeps under the corners. Thankfully, this time I'm not going to be doing tape all over it. I'm just going to be doing the outer border. But I just want to really make sure I don't get anything leaking underneath it. All right. Okay. All right. I'm turning the music all the way down to 1 because I want to hear it that loud. Oh, you know what? Some Persona music always sounds nice. Maybe I'll do that in a minute. Almost. I almost have that right. Nope. That just made it worse. Hey, this is hard to do when you can't see through it. God, could the secret be that I need to have not blue tape at some point? Eh. Did it just bow? A little bit. Man, the struggle with tape today. What the hell? All right. You do this. That looks better. Yo, 10% painting, 90% adjusting tape. Oh, holy hell, you're not wrong. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's not like I expect this to go in a gallery or anything. I just want it to look halfway decent and be held down. That's all I care about. But man, sometimes it just gets way off. All right. Now let's get the top side. In fact, I'm going to be smart about it and turn it around. And I like the song. I don't really want to listen to this. I've got my Persona list. I was listening to it earlier. Shuffle. Oh yeah, I'm willing to turn this up. Okay, a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Just a little bit, actually too much. Away from me. All right. Right. All right. More coffee. All right, let's turn that down. Let's think. All right. So, think through your process, at least part of the process. Clearly, I don't necessarily expect to do all of this in one day, in one sitting. I'm just going to take one of these and kind of go off of it and just kind of fake my way through it, right? That being said, let's think through our process. You've got options. So, we need to do some masking. And before we do masking, I think we also need a circular shape that will work, which unironically, I technically kind of have one right here. But I'll probably use this same kind of size, almost exact same size, like it was made to meet this end to end like that. So I'm thinking what I'll do is pick a spot from my moon. It could be there, for example, right? And I'll lightly, very lightly trace it with a pencil. And then I will put some of my masking fluid in my cup, mask out the entire circle. Go ahead and figure out vaguely where I'm going to want my lightning to be and mask out the lightning. I have done this before. I've got, what is the easiest way I can take this down? I could just take this one. Let me stand up for a moment. 1 second. I have this. I have to put 9 over there and this. And keep those away from each other because those neodymium magnets like to snap together. All right, so I've got 2 times in the past I have experimented. The same day, I've experimented with doing lightning, so I know that I can do it. And I had a lot of fun doing these as well. This left one, you can see where I did it, but I used masking fluid for the thicker components of it. Come on, focus. Focus. Okay, well, that's what it's going to be. So I used masking fluid for the thicker parts of it, and then I used my white gel pen to do the thinner lines trailing off of it after I painted it. So I'll do the same kind of process where I'm going to mask the thicker bolts, especially since this is much bigger than these. You need to be able to see it. So I will make some masking fluid, random jaggy lightning type shapes and preserve some of the area down here in the bottom right or in the middle somewhere where we're going to put our lightning at. And then once that all dries, we can do our sky and start some of the thundery cloud area on the right side. And then we can look at doing some of the colorful outside of the strike. That's very faint just outside of the strike. And then we'll go darker outside of it and fill in some of that space. And then I guess we can consider, do we even want, do I care to do landscape on the bottom? I might. I think that'd be kind of cool to do like a very basic, very narrow landscape down the bottom. Maybe more like the one that's on the far right over there with little mountains and the trees down on the bottom. I like that look. So that's an option. But I think that first couple steps is a good idea. Go ahead and get myself a circle traced and fully masked out so I don't get anything on it. Use the utensil over here and get some of the lightning strikes masked out as well. And then go from there. And then we can, once that dries, we'll start putting our first layer down. And we'll see how far we get today. This other one, this one on the left, I use masking fluid and a white gel pen. This one I did exclusively white gel pen. I did the exact same idea where I followed where I wanted the stripes to be, and I went very, very pale. And then I drew over the top of it with the white gel pen. There we go. So you can see, you can actually see it better in this one, where it was just like a yellow background with the white gel pen on top. Whereas this one was well and truly masked. All right, enough of that. Put these to the side, I'll put them back up later. Magnet over here, magnet way over here. All right. Pencil. I don't think I really need to erase the pencil. It's going to be going on dark, so I think it's going to be covered up by sky. And I'm going to be really, really, really gentle with it. All right. I'm going to take my glasses off. We had a new follow. What a great name. How do you pronounce that? Snark? I like it. Welcome on in. Thank you for being here. I'm going to take my glasses off for 2 reasons. One, because I got some yellow tint in my glasses, the blue light filter. And also, I am nearsighted and I need to get new glasses. So I can't see what I'm doing if I have them on. Snark? I love it. Snark. It's kind of like a mix between snake and snark. I love it. Absolutely welcome in. I am screwing around today. I haven't painted since like a week ago from last Thursday, so it's been up ages for me. I'm picking one of these to use as just like a reference. Ow, dang it, I just smacked my elbow. Anyway, that's what I get. That's what I get for emoting with my hands. I'm a jerk. All right. So I'm going to pick one of these as like just a general, I think the one on the far right, to just do a moon up on the top. And do some starry sky behind it, some storm clouds coming from the right side, kind of encroaching into the landscape with one powerful lightning strike on the bottom. And then maybe we'll squeeze a little landscape down on the bottom of it. Where I'm at. Where are the right ones from? So I had the idea to do these, and I described it to, forgive me for this, but I described it to AI, ChatGPT in this case, because it's one of the few that does image generation, because I wanted to get my idea down in a format that I could reference and then totally go off the rails from. So this is totally my brain figuring out what I want to do. Instead of stealing someone else's artwork, I'd rather just create something random that fits my idea, and then it goes in the trash once I'm done and I'm actually making what I want. It's just so that I can kind of compose it a little bit, and then it goes away. So don't trust how pretty it looks. It was made by a computer. Easier to paint loosely if your vision is blurry. That is a great excuse for doing abstract stuff that you don't care about how it looks. I'll just be like, if I'm close to it like this with my glasses on, then I just can't see. It just blurs out. They seem humanly possible, which is really interesting. Yeah, it's both interesting. It's interesting because it looks good, but it's also interesting that a computer made it. And you want to both be like amazed and hateful toward it, right? So it's really annoying, but I mean it is what it is. I am not one of the people that is full on hateful toward AI, but at the same time I do fully understand why people are opposed to it. I don't believe in being 100% for or against it. I think it's got its pros and its cons. I use it for work, and it's amazing for some of the things that I need. It truly transformed a lot of how I can do certain very specific tasks at work so much more efficiently. Something that would take me a week to figure out how to fiddle with, it can get done in an hour or two of tweaking and iterating. I just really appreciate that about it. I'm not judging that. I'm not judging that. I used AI to understand color theory better. Excellent. That's great. I'm still struggling with color theory. I don't always get it. I have a color wheel over here that I got from Michael's just to kind of have something to visually go off of. I haven't had a chance to truly use it just yet. Like I understand like half of color theory and the other half is still a mystery to me. I've experimented with underpainting using like the opposite color to kind of create where the shadow is going to be. And then when you paint the actual color of the object on top, like red for an apple, it makes the opposing color turn fully into shadow and it looks really cool. So I've experimented with it a little bit, but I am by no means a professional of any of this. All right, so I'm going to just very gently do a pencil sketch around a circle for a moon. And I think I am satisfied with it being fairly high up because I don't want to have a chance of the cloud cover encroaching upon it. And I'm fine with it being really high up in the sky. So I'm happy with it being up here on the top. I think I'll maybe do it away from the left side a little, but closer to the top, but not so close that it's up near the edge. I think that's going to be where I'm going to go with it. So let me get a very gentle, barely there circle. You can stare at the top of my bald head if it gets on screen. Oh, I don't know if I said, I guess it's obvious by my channel name, but I go by my middle name, or my middle name, Bear. You can blame my dad for that. He's also the only person on the planet that ever called me that, aside from you guys. So I go by Bear here, under the handle or username Barely Watercoloring, because I think that's fun. I like cutesy names that kind of have multiple meanings, and that works for me. I'm actually going to turn this upside down so I can get to it better since I'm going to put masking fluid on it. I don't want to be like across the world from it. Right. I think I'm good with the pencil. I can put that up. Let's see. I just bought 6 color tubes for a limited palette. That's fun. I'm just doodling with them every day for muscle memory. Excellent. That's very good. And great name. Thank you. I appreciate it. I like figuring out names. I was always big with that when it came to some video games in the past. Like, I don't know how well versed you are in video games, but one of the ones I used to play even recently because they brought it back was City of Heroes, an old superhero MMO. And I used to try really hard to come up with names that made sense. Like, I tried to do alliterative names. So Color Crusher was one of my character names, Head Healer. Like, I would try to find a way to make them make some sort of sense for both how they looked, what they did, and still have the alliteration thing going on there. I don't know. I'm weird. I always like trying to figure out stupid, silly names for things. Mine means the plasticity calculator layer you get on lukewarm cocoa. Wow, that is a very specific word. Is that really what that means? We're looking it up to Google. Is that like an actual word for it, or is that what you call it? Because that's fascinating. Or is that something else altogether? Yeah, it's probably something else. In Norwegian? No kidding. That's super cool. Dialects from my grandma had taught to me. That's super cool. I love that. I love unique names. Mine's super unique, but if I tell it to you, you'll like immediately have to look me up and see who I am. Not that I'm hiding it. I'm like, my name is on my Instagram, so I can't really get away from it without doing stupid stuff to undo it, make it go away. But let's just say my middle name has gotten me job interviews. I don't know that it got me the jobs, but I'm hoping that it's what got me in the door. So we'll see. We'll see. It's kind of cool. Um, and it has a backstory of its own. I'll probably re-explain it someday. Okay, so I don't need this because I'm not going to be doing any more pencils. So let me put that up. Oh, also, if we get around to it today and we get to the point where you can get far enough to do stars on the sky, I've got something new we can use. I finally got my first tube of gouache. Finally showed up. Probably is not going to focus. 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 Really? Like, it's normally really good at drawing focus. Focus. No? Think she's not going to be cool with me today? Okay, well, whatever. It's a tube of Daniel Smith titanium white gouache. It's just not going to play nice. Focus, you SOB? No, you're not going to do it? All right, I'm not going to sit here and play with manual focus with the digital camera, so screw it. But it is what it is. I'm going to try to use it for stars. I normally use acrylic, typically acrylic ink for my stars because it's already wet, it's already runny. But I'm going to try it with this. Yeah, I'm going to give that a shot. Let's see. Nice. I'm going to head to bed almost 2 a.m. Oh my goodness. Wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming in and sneaking in before you fell asleep. I appreciate you being here. Feel free to check out the VOD later if you want to. All right. Okay, so let's get the masking fluid in our little container here. I have one dedicated that I just use for masking fluid because, I mean, it's a pain to get out. I mean, I'm sure I could pull it out of there if I wanted to, but I just don't care. And then, how am I going to apply it, you ask? Well, I've got a bunch of these silicone tipped my brain has gone stupid. They're for sculpting, like clay sculpting and whatnot. I've got a couple sets, different sizes and shapes. Some are single-sided and only have the silicone tip, and some have a silicone tip and they have a little metal ball tip of varying thicknesses. Oh, now it focuses. So I'm using these because I found that if I use a brush, masking fluid gets permanently stuck in a brush and I have to throw the brush away or struggle to pull it out. It's like pulling gum out of a hair. It's just a nightmare. But it comes right off of this. So I'm going to use that to be able to get right to the edge. And then I'll just flood fill the area in the middle. And then we'll turn this back around and we'll hit the lightning bolt area, wherever we're going to make that be. And then we'll just work around where we put the lightning bolt at. Come on. I haven't used this for a while, so I'm hoping there's not like a gunked up layer on top. Oh, sounds like there was, but I think it went past it. Oh, nope, it's good. Great. Let's do just a little, to make sure there's no crud. I don't want to put crud. There. Nope, we're good. Okay, well, we're going to see about that. Let's put a little bit in it. Let's turn it this way and pour. Okay, that's probably way more than I need, but let's go with that for now. Close it up. Right. Oh, yeah. Did you know? It might be just it might be phony, but a good majority of bottles, you see when they're shaped like this, how it's got the lid, the opening on one side of the bottle, and there's a large open space on the side where it kind of sways outward like that. There's a lot of bottles like that, right? And the design is so that if you need to pour it, you turn it where the opening is on the upper side. So when you pour, the opening side is on top so that a bulk of the liquid remains in the bulgy, like bottom part of the bottle. So that when you pour, it doesn't come all rushing out at once when you tilt it. I actually learned that from oil, putting oil in a car. All the oil bottles you see are like that, so that when you go to pour them into a funnel, it doesn't come gushing out and make a big mess everywhere. You turn it so that the large open curved end of the bottle is pointed down and that the lid is parallel with the one side. And then you pour gently that way and you have less of a chance of making a mess. You learned something new you didn't need to know. You're welcome. All right. Now they've got some masking fluid. Let's go ahead and grab some. Gonna go ahead and I'm trying not to get my skin all over this because skin oil tends to make a mess. It makes it where you've got, it's like a natural masking fluid that you can't get up. So try not to grind into the paper with your skin. Okay. And can you see the circle? Just barely. Enough. Barely, just like my name. I heard a message. I will check it in a second. I'm deeply focused on not making a huge mess. It's Krista. Hey, welcome in. I am back. Work was crazy last week. I was on call and it was one of those things where not only was I on call, but I was also like deep in figuring stuff out all the way up until and past my normal quitting time. So I just kept going. And by the time I was done, it was too late to do anything. I need a dedicated amount of free time when I get off of work. That is just the relax time. Even painting is not relax when I'm tired from a long day at work. So last week was one of those weeks. Everything just kind of built up. Of course, there's a hair in there. Of course. And I'm leaning over it with my glasses off and I got hair in it. That's okay. It'll peel off when the masking fluid comes off. Anyway, weird story aside, I hope you're doing well, Krista. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good week. Okay, I'm going to pour some of this right in the middle. Okay, that's nearly all of it, but that's dipping in the bottle is taking a hot minute. I'll just spread this out. Oh, hey, I got the hair. Great. Get over there. You can see the example or references on the right. Yes, I did them with AI, sue me. I I used it to get my thoughts into a format that would give me something to reference and to use to help kind of compose what I'm doing so I could figure it out better. Uh, I wanted to do a night sky with lightning as a part of it somehow. So I was like, can you give me some sample images with the moon as a crescent, the moon as a crescent, but where you can still see the texture of the moon or the dark side of the moon. And then I want some thunderclouds encroaching upon the scene from the right side, and at least one very large lightning bolt coming down to the landscape below. And can you give me some like examples of that? And this is the first thing that it spit out. I like it. It's going to exist exactly as long as it takes for me to paint this, and then it goes away. I'm just using it as reference. It's not going out onto the interwebs. It's not going to be posted anywhere. I don't do that. I'm never going to do that. That's just stupid. But the one thing I'm bad at is coming up with concept. And so sometimes I need that helping hand to help me make that leap. Um, so that's where that's at and why it exists. Just, some people care, some people don't. Some people get up in arms about it. Some people don't. I have to be honest. And so there it is. Will it make me money? No. Do I want it to make me money? Oh, hell no. Interesting when used like a tool that's not bad is when people try to pass AI off as handmade art. Exactly. Right. And that's all I use it for in general is just a thinking partner. At work is what I call it. I call it my thinking partner. It lets me load all like for work, for technical work, for what I do. I use it to load all of the documentation for the entire project or entire system that I use that I'm working on. Because keeping gigantic technical documentation alive in my head is just never going to happen. And this finally gives me a tool that I can load all of that into, teach it everything about our specific company environment, and then I can ask it questions and then course correct it until it's a professional like I am, but more so in a way because it has all the answers, it has all the information, and then I can help make the logical human leap that it might miss. And it's been incredibly useful. Is that so? Is that so common? Come on. I might have to pour a little more. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's incredibly useful as a tool. And I think a lot of people believe that too. Starting to starting to adhere together on the bottom. Okay. I think that's all of it, but I'm going to add just a touch more because I know how this goes. Yeah, it's just amazing. You just wipe it off and it just off the silicone tool and it completely cleans off of it. If it even is a tiny bit dry, it just all comes off. I love these little silicone tip tools for that, for masking fluid. My glasses are off. It's funny, I have to take my glasses off to see stuff up close, but then to read you guys, I have to put them back on. I honestly don't care for being AI. It's not. It's a program that searches and combines info, not much different than using a calculator to search for a math answer. Yeah, you're exactly right. It has a lot of potential to be misused. I think the capability of use or misuse is in the hands of the person doing the work behind it. Downside being, businesses that want to replace employees with it is screwed up. And they're learning their mistakes right now by doing that. But in the process of them learning the mistake after the fact, it's hurting people in the now whose jobs were replaced by it, right? I literally just said I took my glasses off and put them back on. I just put them back on. Take them back off again because I can't see. Right. I am just filling in the gaps where it might have been a little bit too thin because I don't want to take a chance that stuff gets through. Okay. Okay. Right. I think that's as good as I can get with that. Clean that off. Move this over here. And let's go ahead and turn it. It's kind of lumpy looking, but that's because I didn't get it very smooth on that one corner. But it's on there. It almost looks like a moon in its own. All right. Next up, the fun part, figuring out the lightning bolt part. So I showed it a little bit ago. This is one of the two little little mini paintings I did in the past. Yep, there we go. So this one I use masking fluid for the lightning bolt. So I'm going to try to do the same idea and just kind of do some like loose lines down on the bottom here. And then all of the thinner lines you see shooting off of them were from a white gel pen. So that's what I'm going to try to do down here as well. All right. So where is that going to go? Well, I think we're just kind of wing it. We just kind of do shapes. So do I want to use this tip or do I want to use a ball tip? I think I might want to use a ball tip. Let me see. Yeah, I use this one. So kind of a thicker ball tip. And the other end is a silicone tip. By the way, I've got a new emote of one of the free ones. I'll show it on screen really quick. It's a comment. Got ourselves a comment emote now. Okay. Feel free to use that one whenever you want to. If you hear a comment bark, or just in general. Excuse me. Gosh, this may not be enough. Well, again, I'm trying to read the glasses off here. Cutting a circle out of tape is another way to do a moon circle. I've used not permanent contact paper from the dollar store. Oh, well, that makes sense. My only fear with doing it out of tape is I have a huge problem with masking tape, with the paint leaking underneath it, and then I end up with lines that I'm very unhappy with. So I'm trying to preserve the entire surface using masking fluid. I don't think this is gonna have enough runoff to get a consistent line. I might need to use this silicone end. We'll see. I'll start. I'll just do like a boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Does it not show the email? I know I should double check it. I wonder if I put it under the tier one sub list or what? Does it show me? I think I have to actually like go to the emote page. Let me find it really quick. Go to the emote page. Let me find it really. I was listening to myself. Okay, that was gross. Viewer rewards, emotes. Oh, I'm a dummy. Yep, I'm sorry. That was me. I put it under the tier one. End of stream or sometime during the week, I will move it into the standard free emotes. What can I get rid of? I've got waving, my little hug one, the raid one, coffee, and hype. I don't use hype ever. I'm gonna remove that one. Remove from slots. Can I move the assignment? Well, I think I can. Is that easy? Can I do it now? Okay, so this one right here, turn that one into Oh my God, I'm so far away. Height. Turn you into height. Do I drag it? How do I do it? Remove it? Just remove it. I don't want to upload an emote. I want to do the one that I've already done. That one. Why is it not website? What do I do from here? Start assignment. Yes, there we go. Start assignment, subscriber, tier 1. Yay, there we go. Okay, and then comment. It's right there. Just change that one to follower. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I have no idea how long it takes for it to go through. You may have to refresh the stream. I don't know. But I just set it up as one of the free emotes. So it should show up. All right, there we go. Same name. Oh, seething. Coffee. Start choking, drink something. Just drop that. Like, I guess the question is that enough? I think that might be enough. For the big bolts, I think that'll be okay. And then I can add additional little stragglers, like I said, with the white gel pen. I think we can do that. I think it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and get that dry. I'm going to scoot this guy to the back and let it dry. Move my masking fluid back there too. Right. There he is. Yeah, look at all that comment. That's awesome. I'm glad that worked right away. Twitch got something right? What? That's highly irregular. Okay. Let me scoot this over here. I don't need it anymore for now. And this guy can go up too. Ow. I refreshed. Yeah, you have to refresh to make it go through. That makes a lot of sense. I had to earlier when I added it in the first place. All right, I'm going to go ahead and dry these off a little bit so we can paint on them today. Yeah, that's our dog, Comet. That's his name. He both because I like space and because he was born on Christmas Day, like 5 years back. So I named him after both like a reindeer and a comet for space. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's think this next step through. We've got our masking fluid down for our moon and for some of our lightning. I'm thinking, oh, I was thinking bear with comet sky since you like space stuff. Ah, I got you. Yeah, nope, it's our doggo. I wanted to do a emote for comet. It's a little sparkly. So like it is kind of cute, but it's also hard to see. I have some other ones I was looking at doing, but I want to figure out if there's a way to convert a sticker from like an Apple sticker that you create from on your iPhone, because it uses some of the animated images and it can make animated stickers. And I'd like to see if there's a way to convert it to a GIF so that I can put that in an animated GIF emote slot. But that's all outside of my wheelhouse. Have you watched All Mankind? I have not. I have heard about it, but I have not seen it. It's in the back burner of my list of many, many things to catch up on watching. I forget. Is it on Apple TV? I think. I seem to recall. I could be wrong. Let's see. Okay, so it is on Apple TV. Yes, then I have definitely heard of it. One of my coworkers told me about it. It sounds really interesting. It's not like truly copying history. It's like an alternate take on our reality, where I think like the Russians got into space and did all the things first before us or something. I don't remember. I really don't remember the details, but I think that's what it was, at least in base, like an alternate reality take on the space race. And then like it fast forwards to where we'd be today if it was if America didn't get into space first or get to the moon first and all those things. I don't really know. I'm probably way off base. I'm only like half right, but I think it's vaguely in that ballpark, or I'm very wrong. It could be one of those two. All right. So space, clouds, a little bit of a landscape on the bottom. We'll probably only have time for one layer today, but we'll see. We'll see where I get. Okay, so think it through, think it through, think it through. So I need to do space. I need to do dark on top, segue down and get lighter. Figure out where I want my clouds to live and do some clouds. And then figure out the space around my lightning bolts with what color I want the lightning to be. I like the one on this side, the purpley color, purpley pink. So I think that might be where I'm going with it. Okay. So let's figure out, if we're going to do this, we need basically the whole surface wet. Yeah. Full wetness, whole surface, work quickly. All right. Let's grab this guy. This does more water, but it's a narrower brush, but I can probably do both if I need it. I think maybe what I'll do, I'm going to spray my paint because I haven't touched it with water yet. And maybe I'll just spray this down and then I'll brush it. Wow, it's hard to press that over and over again. I even dropped it. Quality. All right. Let's scoot that to the side. Let's go ahead and wet this. And let's start wetting this whole thing down. I'm going to go left to right first, and then I'll go up and down to try to even it out. Okay. And let's do up and down. Right, and one more left to right. All right, let me turn this light in front of me so I can see. That's ugly. There we go. Yes, we're wet, no puddles, not a lot of buffling. I think that'll be okay to start. Scoot that over here. I think I won't use this one today. Oh, you're right on the series. Oh, okay. However, it continues to Mars and other space types of things. Funny how it showed up in the timeline. Oh, Al Gore winning. Oh, that's what twisted everything. That's funny. That's that's silly. All right. Okay, so let's start with I think what I'll do is a mostly indigo one. Let me get it really, really dark. Whoops. All right. And let's get some indigo going up here. And I'm going to tilt it up a little bit too, to try to get it to flow downwards a little. God, it's drying up already. I just put it down. It's crazy. All right, let's try it again. And let me grab a paper towel. Alright. Okay. Okay. And let's go a little crazy. Let's do a purple. I've got some, what is this? Cobalt blue violet. Put some right there. And put it down. Okay. Now let's start some undersides of clouds over here. Benjamin. Yes. Yes. Yo. Can't go for a second. What's up? Hey. What has he done? He snaps my meatball that I dropped off, and he's trying to eat it. But, you know, right into because it's half frozen. Oh, that's so funny. Going to get the meatball away from him? I want to cut it into pieces. You can 1 second. Be right back. Sorry about that. I'm back. Our doggo tried to swallow a frozen meatball that got dropped on the floor whole. And so we had to snatch it away from him. Okay. Try this again. Don't want there to be a puddle. Let me get rid of any of those big puddles from that. Okay. Now let's try to get that dark again. Dogs, I know, right? Such a silly boy. All right. Let me snag some more of that purple. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Oh, that's hardly anything. Let's try that again. And switch brushes really quick for a second. I'm using some opera pink right along the line for where all the bolts are, just to have a little bit of some bright pink color right next to the bolts. And then a little bit as a purple in the outer bits in between. Mhm. Mhm. Make some more of that. Mhm. Right. So dry this puppy off. Okay. Okay, so how are we gonna do a second layer of star? First off, is it drying? Ooh. Well, we still got a lot of dampness. Okay, let's try some more. Yeah, I think it still needs time. You know, it's such a big piece of paper and I wet the hell out of it to begin with. I think it needs time to dry underneath as well. And I don't want to ruin this. I want to try to give this a chance at actually becoming something. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to sit here together and try to plan and figure out what the next steps will be the next time. And then I'm just going to let it dry for the next couple hours overnight. And we'll come back on Thursday and hit with a plan for phase two. Right. So thinking it through, I think what I'm going to do is I have to figure out how, because I've never been great at figuring out a second pass on top of space, right? So the lighter area that is above these clouds and down to here is all going to be space from there up, right? So I'm thinking if I look at even these three examples, there's a bunch of light areas that are shining through, which is going to be pretty much everywhere that's light in here. I'll preserve pieces of it, but I want to figure out how to do things like the Milky Way that you see in this first one on the right here. I like the idea of having like a dark streak that goes across. That's like the center of the Milky Way with some lighter areas above and below. and then encroach darkness onto it from both sides, but still fade to lightness as we go down the page, right? To try to replicate some of that look right there. I really want to do that. So I'm probably going to steal that idea, do like a diagonal dark streak, some light, sharper light right up on the edge of it in some cool shapes and designs. And then we fade that light into darkness on the other side. But overall, the whole thing will fade as it comes downward. And that'll be the space part once we get stars and everything onto it. The clouds, I may replicate any of the three that you see on the right here and just try to preserve some of the light edge and just slightly darken up the layer of cloud to try to darken it up and make it look more like storm cloud. And then I might hit a lot of the lightning bolt areas and try to get a little bit more bright pink and purple in a couple of spots just brushed on. That might be dry, wet on dry. And then once I'm satisfied with the look of that and we dry all of that off, I think we can go ahead and I can do the landscape on the bottom to get that done. And then we'll peel off all of the masking fluid and get the white gel pen to get the little straggly little lines added to the lightning bolts. And then we'll get the moon painted and then make sure we've got stars and everything. I think it'll be good. So it's a lot of work for next time. We did a ton of prep today. So Thursday is going to be a lot of painting and finishing. So, all right, guys, which landscape am I going to try? I'm thinking the one on the far right, the one that's the mountains with the trees in front. Because I don't think I want to do water because it gets a pain in the ass and I've not quite nailed it yet. And the landscape scenery, like the countryside one, is just kind of blah. And I don't know that I've gotten good at figuring that out either. So I think just for general purposes, the mountain one is really nice. I like that one. Cool. I would choose that one too. Perfect. That and I've kind of practiced a couple times of doing a mountain with trees landscape. And I've done that before. I've only done the water one like once or twice, and I've never done a good countryside landscape like the middle one is. It's pretty. It's not something I've ever tried before. And not a big one like this, a big piece. I'd rather do something I've at least had some practice at. So I think we're going to make that far right one be reality. So just underneath the mountain, the lightning bolts here, we'll throw some mountains in just underneath the lightning, and we'll do faded in the back. And then we'll bring it darker the closer we get to the camera. And then we'll throw some nice trees in front and we'll call it. All right. That's it. I think I'm going to go ahead and end a few minutes early. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Krista, thank you for being here. Lurkers, thank you for lurking. Anyone that was here earlier and had to leave, I hope you came back and saw the VOD. And thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to head out. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me. Thank you for being patient while I was gone last week. I'm back. I'll be back on Thursday, barring catastrophe. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'm Bear. I've been barely watercoloring, and I'm out of here. Woo! All right, no, that was lame. All right. Bye.